a guest at his wedding, Mark's wedding.
Oh, we're live. Hello.
Hey, doilies.
Hey, we're back. We took a break. I call it a holiday hiatus.
Yep, that
And
sounds like a good name for it.
we're back. And we're back with material and content that makes us laugh and have like a whole bunch of joy. I know. Republic of Doyle, season 5, episode 5. I'm excited.
What was it? The Works?
Yes, the works. And I was saying earlier to Kathy, hi Mary, hi Bonnie, hi Christine and Chris. I was saying earlier to Kathy that this was the last one that Victor Garber did with Alan in the cast. This was the last Garrison Steele. Yeah.
I think
And
season 6 was abbreviated somewhat. It wasn't as long,
yeah.
and I think that just played a role in it. They just, or whoever the powers that be just said, I haven't got that much left in me. Let's just,
There were certain things we have to cover and
Yep.
let's see what we could do. But I also was saying that when he would be on, his character would get on my nerves. But this episode I really enjoyed. I loved, like I always say, and I know I'm repeating myself, I loved the dialogue between everyone. It was peppered with everyone. And in this episode, I felt like there were 3 stories going on. There was the main story, which was, trying to figure out who was framing Garrison, but also the thing with that triangle of Jake, Leslie, and Callum. And then the little bit of peppered in of Tinny and Des. It was like the beginning of their big relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow. And they weaved all of that in like superbly, as always, with the writing. They're such good writers. They really are. They're good writers. Perry, do you hear me? If you're out there, Perry, and you hear me, you have to come on. We say all the time how wonderful you are. What a wonderful writer. Okay. So I do have like, I always put visuals up to like talk us through, but let's see what our guests are saying. Christina is talking to you. No, Chris is.
Oh, hey, Chris. I know, right? As soon as we're done with this, I'm just going to go take a walk on the waterfront and just soak it all up.
Yep. And Sweet Me is here. Sweet Me 33 is here saying hello. Also, Bonnie is saying, I'm ready for tonight. I've been watching the last season, Judgment Day, and the following one with the wedding. Love these 2 episodes. I know. I love them and then I hate them because I get sad.
Yeah.
Right? I get so sad. Okay, so I'm going to pop up and put up the close your eyes. Just this is really for me and also as a reference for all of you. One of the things that I really loved, like kicks, like it just was a start right off the bat, is as they're coming through the doors in the episode opens, it's Jake and Mal having those, dialogues like they do back and forth and saying stuff, and they're entering the hotel and they're having their big talks. And Jake's mad that he's going to have to go deal with Garrison Steele again. And he says, I love what he says. He like, I always get the poopy end of the stick. He says.
Yep.
Then the father tries to talk to him about Leslie, and he said, just don't.
That was a theme throughout the whole episode.
Yes.
Every time someone brought up her name, he shut it down real quick.
Mm-hmm. He was angry and hurt by her.
That was a beef I had with the episode because they didn't show his reaction to her news that, oh, this isn't my boyfriend, this is my husband. And then they just, okay, next episode, they're estranged kind of. But, I felt cheated. I wanted to see his reaction. I mean, was he angry? I know he was hurt, but was he angry? Did he yell at her? Did, she get rid of Callum so the 2 of them could talk? It just kind of big old glaring hole in the plot to me.
Do you think that they wrote it and it got cut?
I can't imagine that there wasn't something else they could cut if they needed more time.
And then they were making up for it in this episode, where they constantly show him angry and making his little remarks, even to her. But I also loved it because every time she looked at him with a moony face, like, I love you, I want you kind of thing. Every time she
It was quite clear to me from her interaction with Callum at the very beginning when he came in with the coffee.
Yep, that's what
I
I'm
don't know where
showing.
this is going to go, but if it goes anywhere, it's because she feels obligated. It's not because she still has feelings for him.
Right. So he comes in unannounced. That's what this is here. And
Mm-hmm.
he comes down the steps like surprised, and he has his coffee, right? And the coffee he has, well, even before he sees her, he's like kind of looking around, and he's like trying to see what's happening, and then he looks and reads what's on her phone.
Yep.
Like he's just trying
I picked up a shady vibe from him right from the start.
Yes. And then he's handing her the coffee, and he says, just like you like it. And she's like, well, times have changed. I take it black now, but thank you. And he kind of is like, says how pretty she is and puts the hand on her face, and she kind of pulls it away. I love her parting words when she says, call first next time.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Now, so you're right. Through the whole show, they would pepper it with his, people trying to give advice on what was going down with them.
And I think he repressed a lot of his anger. I think he was just stone cold ticked off, but he repressed it.
Yes.
And that's why he didn't want anyone mentioning Leslie or talking about it, because he was afraid that it was going to just like pop out.
Yes. Christina is agreeing with you when you were talking earlier. She's like, yep. And so I took a picture of this because, again, it's his story. But I thought it was gross that he kept walking around with somebody's blood all over him. I found it distracting to me and disgusting because he wore it for a long time.
I thought it looked really like fake blood.
You did?
Yeah, it didn't look real to me.
It did to me.
Because real blood gets dark as the longer it's kind of around.
Yeah.
And you're right, it wasn't realistic he'd be walking around because it starts smelling too.
Yes, that's all I could think.
Yeah.
In his hands, and he touches the file that the woman was murdered with, and I was like, this is kind of gross and distracting me. So I liked it because there was like, so I'm like laughing one moment, then I'm mad for Jake, and then I want to kick Callum, and then I think this is gross, and I was like all over the place, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
You know what? I look at him here. Doesn't he look like Bruce Boxleitner?
Yes.
Those two could play brothers in something.
Yeah. So now he disappeared on them. How many times did he disappear in this episode?
I don't know, but I thought this was some of the funniest dialogue. Oh, what are you gonna light me to death?
That comes up later. He doesn't know it here yet, but he's got that little gun, and he's telling him, I forget what he says to him exactly that makes him, and he gets in it. It was something hilarious. And I was like, oh my God, with that stupid little gun, right? And then here, you're right. Go ahead. What he said.
I know about it. How do you know it was a lighter? And I just love that because it's on the side of the gun.
What is that, a euphemism? He tells him, and he's like, no, wait, okay. So this is something else that I thought when they finally have them drive off. Now we've got Des, who says so many random crazy stuff in this scene, like when he's talking to Tinny about Jake and Leslie breaking up. Oh my God, at least you tell them what you tell someone they got married on the second, they're married on the second date, third it is definitely by the third. And she's like, let's not talk about it. Okay, yes. Then he starts in with Rose, and she's like, that's their business. So he tried to include everyone. They're in the middle of a conversation, and a random woman walks in their house, and Rose is like, hi, can I help you?
It's like, how about first you go lock your door?
Yes. Well, I live in a town where we don't always lock our doors all day either. But anyway, yes. So random.
You also don't worry about random people just walking in.
Well, this is true. I know. I wanted to see. Oh, Christina's playing it now. And Tracy's saying, I got the whole series of Republic of Doyle for Christmas. So very happy. Did you? Because I did too. I did too. And I haven't had a chance to look at it. It came in a snazzy little bag and everything. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm waiting for like a big snow day, and I'm just going to pop them in and I am just going to watch it, all of it. It's just, I'm very excited by it. Okay, so there's a lot of fun in this episode. So now this is the part that you're talking about when he gets mad at him and it's a lighter. What are you going to light me? Yeah, and
That's
the
just
dad,
terrible.
I know. Oh my God. Okay. Now they
Can
go
you
back.
can you go back a minute to that?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Go ahead.
so there's something that I think is really subtle here,
All right.
and it's Jake, and it's he looks like he's not unraveling, but he's definitely not focused the way he typically is. Look at his
Really?
hair.
Yep.
Look at his shirt. His shirt almost looks like it's, wrinkly. Like, did you
Yep.
sleep in that or what? So I think we're seeing a lovelorn, broken-hearted Jake.
We are. We are. People, every time he turns around, people are trying to give him some
He's
kind
like,
of
I'm fine. I'm okay. Well, no,
yep.
you're not, because you're not taking care of yourself the way you
Yep.
usually do.
Yes. Yes. And wait, now Chris says he still has to what that was loud. I'm sorry. He still has the bloody jacket on. I know. This is what I was trying to say. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Lynn. How are you? I know. I know. So this
Well,
is
he had to wait for Rose to solve that problem. He didn't have anything else to change into.
he could have at least taken that jacket off though, but you know him, he's so ridiculous. So now they have that he has the bloody, remember when she's helping him out and they find the file in his pocket. So they go to return it and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. They go and return it at the scene. And then on the way out, now that he's got his change of clothes, instead of sneaking back out, there he is with all of his fans saying
He's
hi.
he's just so larger than life, and he can't help being Steel. He just can't help it.
And the stuff that he says, so they haul him off, they finally get to the have a conversation. He gets hauled down to the police station. Leslie, this is when she kept looking at Jake and mooning at him, and he kind of was like saying little digs back at her from what she was, what she would say.
I
And then
didn't do anything wrong. I just maybe withheld some relevant information, but you should certainly understand how that goes.
yep. And she looks at him. And then idiot Steele here, he tries to talk about them being in love and whatever. And then this is the point where they both tell
Hold
him,
on. Shut up, Steel.
I know. Yep. And I definitely was feeling it. I don't know about anybody else, but he was pissed. Sorry for that language. And she was on Mooney. Like she would just have these eyes. She kept saying, we have to talk. We have to talk. At first, she was like, we have to talk, but it's about the case. But then as it went on, it was not about the case. She really wanted to talk with him.
Right.
So here's Des. He had said to Garrison Steele and them, can you believe it? Leslie's married. She never told you. Okay, so he had talked to everybody about it. They're stuck in the bar where Callum is. And Callum tried to talk to Jake, and he's like, yeah, this is not the day for us to have a conversation. And stupid Des is going back upstairs and he leans in and he goes, can you believe? And then he's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to go right now. Like they made him say the ditziest crap, but it was hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was hilarious. I loved it. All right. Now, this is, I'm skipping to this. There's all kinds of stuff that comes before this. So if there's anything that you want to say, please say it. But
I love Steele's one-liners.
Yes.
There was, in the previous episode he was on, they needed to go to a some kind of formal do, and I don't remember who asked him, but somebody said, "Do you have a tux? Did you pack a tux?" And he goes, "Of course I did. What do you think I am, an animal?" And he says it with such conviction. And then in this one, I don't remember what the reference was. He was talking about something he did, and he goes, I was more animal than man. He kills me with the one-liners.
That's when they were sitting in the interrogation room. And right, okay, and they came in and they said, Hood said, you can't keep him. The lawyer called and they coerced him and all that other stuff. And he goes, that's true. I'll sign anything. I was more animal. Like you said, I know he has the best one liners and he has this. Oh, and that was the whole thing. He was like really extra sedate and calm because he had been away in India and he'd spent so many months there and he had found his. Wait, how about when he says, I don't have a lady friend, right? There's no lady friend. And he goes in the closet and he says, Rachel, what are you doing?
I don't have a missus. What are you
Yeah,
doing there?
yeah,
And he's like, the handcuffs. No, yeah, they're mine, but they're strictly recreational.
I know. And then later on, he says the word lady friend,
Yeah,
my lady friend. Well, wait, how about when he's driving in the car and he says, we let's go back because there's a video that he planned and he wanted
in the teddy bear, a nanny cam.
right. He wanted to, it was a duck, I think. And
Oh,
and Jake threw it down after he took the video out of it. And he's driving in the car and he's like, you wanted to record? He goes, I wanted to see if they would have, a menage. And he kept saying menage, menage. And Jake says, if
don't
you
say
say
menage again.
the way menage, menage. Then when he brings back the evidence, he brings it back and he hands it to Des and he says to Des, Des is like, what is this? He goes, well, it
You
could
see
be
the
evidence.
evidence, or it's going to traumatize you.
And he's looking at it and he's going, it's weird. It's weird. Oh my God. So she's crazy at the end. She's mad and wants to kill Jake because she thinks he forces Garrison to write crap because they're terrible. She's the only person that agrees with Jake that they're terribly written because everybody loves it. All the way down to what is Grayson, who was supposed to escort him out, Tinny's ex-boyfriend, the cop. And he
Who
thinks,
was one of the first ones to get it
yeah.
about Tinny and Des?
Yes, because he said, who are you fooling? It's about Des breaking up, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he loves Garrison too. Mm.
I would be willing to start a GoFundMe
For
raise money because somebody has to finish a real novelization of the Special Detective. There's an excerpt from it in the book that
yes,
talks about the first two seasons that give
yes.
the details on the episodes of the first two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that excerpt from the Special Detective, I thought I was going to burst my own appendix.
I
I was
know.
laughing so hard. It is hysterical. So I need that whole book.
I know. I know. We should. We should. That's something we've talked about before. Hi, Arlene. She's here. She said, I'm sorry I'm late. She
Hi,
got out
Arlene.
of the sign language class. So now this is the other storyline that's going on here. And that would be the one between Des and Tinny. And I like it because Tinny is the one who was the aggressor in this, like she's the one that initiated and they started the whole big passionate kiss, which I find funny because I'm wondering if she's standing on a box
I was
because
just thinking the same thing.
she's so
Something.
yes, she's so much smaller than he is. He's a tall guy and she's a petite woman, and together that's funny, but they made it work. I'm excited for this because I was waiting for it, but they had to grow up. They were kids. Christina's saying she loves them together. So did I. I was rooting for them, and I was glad they finally
hit their rhythm. They were good.
Now, I have to say that I find that this actress, Kristen, she's beautiful, right? Oh, Christina's saying it reminds her of herself and her husband because her husband is very tall, extra tall, and Christina's extra petite. And when they got married, at one point, she had to stand on like one of those boxes, to be able to scoot up. What I think.
Look him in the eye.
Yeah. So I find that she looks extremely beautiful here. Like the way her skin looks, her hair, her makeup, what she has on. I thought she looked very beautiful here. And the part that killed me was right before this when Garrison was saying, this is our last, case together, Jake. And I have some advice. And he thought he was going to give him some crappy advice. And it was really good advice. He said that he recognizes love. He said for him, it was fleeting, but he had what he called the ending, the perfect ending. What was it? And it made him think. And so she called and said, come downstairs. And he was going to go. And what happens? Your favorite character to hate.
Yeah.
Who interferes with that?
And
Well,
I can see what Leslie is thinking here. She's thinking he's really ticked off at me,
yeah.
and so he's going to stand me up. He can't do that to me. I'm going to show him. Callum, come on, let's go hang out and talk and catch up or in something.
Well,
And so
he
if he had come down there and made it down there to talk to her, I don't think the next few episodes would have happened with
no.
Callum. I think Callum would have been out of there
Yeah.
the next episode.
But this is drama and you've got to make rising action and you got to move on.
I
But
find since I didn't have to watch it live,
yes.
I had to watch it in real time, would have driven me crazy.
And he was stalking her. He was sitting at that bar watching what Jake did. Remember? That's why he was there, wanted to talk to Jake. He said, not the day. And he was still in that bar. And then he helped him fight. Remember when they put their backs together, they fought off those two dudes that Garrison insulted on purpose, but then he thought he could just walk right by him and it'd be okay.
And when he
And
said, can I squeeze by?
yeah. Oh, he's such an idiot, I swear. And then Jake turns around and says to him, what are we, the Duke brothers? You remember them? Like they did. Oh my God.
Callum was stalking her back
Yep.
in the first episode of season 5.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that gave me creepy vibes as well.
And he leans in and they put that camera just in. And you know what? Not for nothing, but that actor did a great job being a jerk, you know? Yeah, we should ask Callum to be on so we could say how much we didn't like his character. Which is terrible. Oh goodness.
Interesting thing, I was telling Roxanne about this. Victor Garber. I've been following him for way longer than I realized I've been following him. I remember I went to the Schubert Theater here in Chicago, or not here in Chicago, but in Chicago, to see a musical called They're Playing Our Song. And Victor Garber was the male lead in it, and it was a wonderful musical and great songs. And it was 1979. We were all babies back then, but he's very talented. He's very, very talented. He sings, he dances, he acts, he does comedy, he does drama.
Yeah.
I've seen him in just a whole variety of things.
He has Jan said it wasn't easy, but she's finally here. We're glad you're here, Jan. I was looking at his credits and I didn't realize how much voice work he did. Like he's been the voice of different cartoon characters. There's something coming out that is it about the Civil War? But he is narrating it. And I didn't also realize there's a show and he plays with he's in it with Rose, Linda Boyd is in this with him, and it's called Family Law. You could get it, I think, on Prime. Is that where it is? I would have to ask Alexa. But it was last season and it's on again. And there's like so many episodes of it. It's about a group of lawyers, practicing family law. He stars in it with Linda. And he also is doing something very exciting. Like I said, he has a lot of voice stuff. It's by Audible. And it's Anne of Green Gables. Who here loves Anne of Green Gables? Who?
How many versions of Anne of Green Gables are there now?
I know. Well, this is amazing. And he's playing Joseph. And
the brother who he and his sister Marilla.
And Marilla is being played by, her name went right out of my head. I love her. What is her name?
Is it Catherine O'Hara? That's what's on the screen.
That's it. Oh, yes. That's why I put it up there. Yes. And I love her. And she sounds amazing too. Yes.
Michaela Lucci must be Anne. And I'm not sure who Sandra Oh would be.
I'm not sure who that is. Is she Anne?
Well, she's kind of mature for Anne.
Who is? Sandra Oh? Oh, I don't know who Sandra Oh is. Who is Sandra Oh?
She's from Grey's Anatomy. She did something with Eve is the name of another show she did. She's famous for Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. So on Audible, you can get this. So I thought that was fun to put up. And if he were here, we could have discussed it. Maybe one day he will be. Right? Now, people are saying, let's see. Wait a minute. Lois said, I love him from Alias. Oh, Arlene said that. I forgot he was in that. And I have to agree with you, Lois. He definitely was very good in Republic of Doyle. He
Mhm.
annoyed me though so much, but that's good because his character was supposed to be annoying, you know? Killing Eve.
Yeah, that was it.
I went to
Prince Edward Island.
and toward her house. Oh, you did, Lois? Oh, that would be a dream of mine. I love, love, love Anne of Green Gable. I love all the books of her life. I have this gorgeous pop-up book of her. I've watched the oh my gosh, I just loved it. I loved Avonlea, the series. It's just beautiful to me. Yeah, and Jan saying, "I haven't watched Republic of Doyle in a while. Holiday's so busy, but I watched, yeah, season 5, episode 5 this evening, and I'm back in love with the series." It's true. I was watching it to take some pictures, and I was like, "Gosh, I love this series." Like, how many times have I watched this episode? Many times, and I
I
just
I just adored it. After you've watched it a few times, which I have, you go back and look at it, look at the overview, and you look at the growth of the characters, each and every one of them, from the very first episode to the last episode. And
Mhm.
it's almost like a different set of characters. They've just
Mhm.
changed so much, except Mal. Mal was pretty much consistent, and Rose to an extent. But even Rose, she had her secrets, toward the beginning that she unloaded finally, but the others, the Jake and Leslie and Des and Tenny, they just all grew and changed and matured so much. I thought it was really, really great.
Did you see the part, even the relationship between Hood and Leslie even changed?
Hmm.
So Hood comes in to say something, and then he starts talking about, "You really want to send Grayson with Tinny? There's and she's like, and that makes it awkward." She's like, "Get out, Hood. Just,
Yep.
just."
I mean, when you look at, well, I think everybody's pretty much seen it, but I mean, Hood and Jake, their relationship evolves during the entire season. I just really like it. I really, really, that's one of the appealing things to me.
Yep, and that's what Jan's agreeing with you. I think that's what makes it so enjoyable, and we totally agree. So Bonnie, you're here, which I'm glad, and you had won something, remember? And I wanted to send you something special, but then there was a hiccup; they didn't ship it anymore. So I do have your backup, and I was telling Kathy that it arrived. I couldn't ship it directly to you; it arrived at my house, and so I have to go grab it out of the mailbox. It's been in there a week. I'm sorry, but we had terrible rains and all kinds of crazy stuff here. It rained so bad that we had no school yesterday.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. I mean, transformers were down, not at my house, but in Vineland. I live like 20 minutes away, and I couldn't even be able to I drive through the woods to get there, and it was all flooded out. So anyway, I digress. But I have it arrived, and I will be sending it to you soon. And it doesn't matter if you send me an email and say, "Hey, Roxanne, did you send it to me?" I'm okay with that. You can nag me. It's all good. I tell my students that too. Got to keep nagging me, ask me that same question so I don't forget because I got so many things going on in my mind. Well, so we're back and we're going back on our Thursdays and we're going to move on to episode 6. Are we still doing just that one episode? Because there's so much, like it took us a
There's
half
so much
hour.
to unpack. I mean,
Yeah.
each episode got really full as they,
Yeah.
entered that home stretch. So yeah.
There was another thing that I missed saying that I just thought was hilarious was towards the end. So Garrison is going to they saved. I love how they hit the lighter with he got the gun lighter and it sent the with the alcohol and it sent it up on the carpet and they were able to save his manuscript, right? And then the father's like, "Good save," and he's like, "Yeah, I was aiming for that manuscript."
I know that was funny.
So the part where it's the end and he's like, "Oh, and I for inspiring me and all this." So you think he's asking Jake to write the forward for his next book. But then he gets to the part about spawned this whole story and he says the word spawned and then he turns around and says it's Mal and it's true because he spawned Jake.
Yep.
Oh, and Mal's like, "Oh yeah, he'll take it. It's good."
Oh, I liked it when he said, who was there was a woman talking to Mel. I don't remember which female it was,
Mhm.
but finally someone who I think Mel had said, "I'm not crazy about, the special detective. Something about it he didn't like. She'll, oh, I'm fine. I'm glad someone else, agrees with me that the temperament of this character. And he goes, actually, that's the only thing he got completely right.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Which was funny.
Hmm.
Oh, I know. Cool. It was a good one. It was a good one. If that was going to be his last one for the original, because he could always come back in a
Yeah.
reboot. That was a good one. It was a really good one. Yeah. Yep. Do you think that they knew that that was going to be the last one because of the way he said it? This is our last. He says it to
I
him.
think they had this thing plotted out down
Yeah,
to the
they
minute.
know. Mm,
I was also saying earlier, Turner Classic Movies (TCM). Each year,
mhm.
at the end of the year, they do TCM Remembers,
Right.
and they find the most gorgeous songs, the best music,
Mhm.
and then they show a montage of all the artists who passed
Oh,
that year in
yeah.
2023, and they include actors and the lighting people and directors, and so it's not just actors. And they did one this year. If anyone follows that or has a chance, it's on YouTube, and they're showing all the people, and you're just like, oh my gosh, not that I didn't know that person passed, and
Mhm.
look at
Mhm.
everybody. And then they showed Gordon Penson, and I just kept thinking, Maurice Becker, he can't do it. He can't be in the reboot. It was just so poignant. So Republic of Doyle is actually invading just all areas of my life at this
Uh-oh. Everywhere you
point.
turn,
Yep.
everywhere your head turns. I what I'm tongue tied. Jen was saying, yes, Kathy, I agree with seeing the growth.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then what she's saying, once again, Jake leaves his gal high and dry because of Shane calls him. You mean Sloan, right? It looks like in the next episode we're going to see, yes, so we do. And that's what annoys you. And it annoyed me too.
I find Sloane annoying as a
Yeah.
character,
Yes.
but I think because we, the audience, knew she wasn't on the up and up, and Jake was buying it whole cloth, and he was really sacrificed. He sacrificed a lot for her.
He took on her debt.
Hmm. Yep. That
Yeah.
guy was particularly odious to me. He's another one who's a fabulous actor, because I watched him in scenes and I felt like, okay, now I gotta go take a shower. The guy who played Saul, I can't think of
Yeah.
the actor's
Yeah.
name, but he did a fantastic job of just being almost reptilian.
Yes. Yes.
He
Yes.
was fabulous. I gotta look up and see what else he's been in.
We have to
I'd
have
love to see him do a comedy.
maybe he did. And wait a minute. I feel like I do know him in something else. I remember seeing him and I was like, why do I know this guy? And then I realized who I've walked the look. I
Mhm.
do. Yeah. He felt that it was his duty as Sloane's father. Does he think he's her father? Does he now know that did she say he
No, at
was
this point, he's still. That didn't happen until season 6.
what? Being the father, his father.
Oh, do you mean did he know that? He, did she tell him that here's the
Yes.
paternity test? I think he did, and
Yeah,
that's why he was
okay.
so hell bent on.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he would have given up seeing Leslie for.
Yeah. 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 But he could have called her. He could have said anything, but then of course we wouldn't have the drama of the story,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
All right, folks. So this Sunday at 7 p.m. If you are
Eastern.
pardon?
Eastern. Are you talking Eastern?
Eastern, thank you. 7 p.m. Eastern. If you are from, the way home peoples, you are invited to join us because we're having a premiere party for the way home. We're going to talk about some of our observations and some predictions, and we want to hear what everyone
Clues.
else has to say.
Everybody's finding all these clues from
Yep,
rewatching season 1, so
yep,
it'll be fun to see what everybody has picked up this time
yep.
that they didn't pick
I
up.
cannot wait. I am excited. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. All right. And I agree, Jan, that he still thought of her as his daughter, even at the very end. He even said to her, you ever need anything. That's why I was saying if there's so much that they could redo, they could do a couple movies like Sloane can come back. And it could be that maybe she turned her life around, but maybe she needs him because she's like a secret agent and she needs him, or it could be anything. It could be about Jake and like Leslie, you predict, Kathy, that Leslie no longer is a police officer and that they have a detective agency together, right?
Because she said she was no longer a cop in that last episode. And I think it would be a great twist if any of the powers that be are listening. I think it would be a great twist that, Sloan comes back and, yes, I've turned my life around, blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, they find out that she actually is his daughter. She faked the paternity test because, and so they never got a real one done, or she would have found out that she really was a daughter.
Yes.
I think that would be great.
I thought of that too. That's so funny you're saying that. I've DVR'd The Way Home and I'm hoping I can get to watch it before Sunday. Okay, it's so good. Well, it's not this Sunday, it's next Sunday that it comes on. So, Jan's agreeing with us about the thing about yes, yes, yes with Sloan. I've been thinking about that. You know what, Lois, you've watched this show for a long time, as has Mary. What do you think? I'm thinking that that would be great, that if she really could be his real daughter, Yeah. But the party is this Sunday. It is, but we're not going to be revealing anything. I mean, we're talking about our hopes and wishes. Well, as far as you get, that's fine. Also, I cannot say enough of this, but I cannot say enough of how I love Son of a Critch. It is in Canada. It's in its third season, but it rolled. I thought we were going to have like a hiatus, but we didn't. As soon as season 1 was done on the WB, they rolled out season 2 for us. But you can binge. Can you binge watch season 1? Oh, I don't know if you can anymore. But season 2, you can't binge watch it. You have to wait like tonight, a new episode comes out. It's so
you wait till they're all dropped and then binge watch it.
Yes, but I was going to say that, but you can't even binge watch season 1 anymore, I don't think. Yeah, when I was looking at it, I'll have to see how else we could get it, but I cannot say enough about it. What was the other one that I was saying? People are liking Sullivan's Crossings, and that's nice. I mean, it was good. It's not my favorite, but some people love it, and I don't. And Alan Halko's in it. He's fabulous. It just took me like 4 episodes to care about the main character. I just couldn't.
Scott Patterson could give Grandpa Hunky a run for his money.
I love him. It's the female lead. I just was like, I didn't like her. And Linda is in it, and she is not a likable character. You just want to give her one good smack. So that's the exceptional actress she is. So you don't really like.
I tell you, these Canadian actors, they got range. I'll give them that.
I know. If you have been able to watch Sullivan's Crossings, you'll see that Alan hasn't changed very much. So he could do another set of Doyle. Jan, we know, Jan. We know. And Kathy knows personally because Alan called her, right?
You're making me blush.
He did a video chat. He was like, "Girl, I heard on your podcast that you like me, and you got to invite me on."
I got it like that.
He did. We're just saving it. He needs to know. Okay, he knows.
He knows. He knows we're thirsty for some more Republic of Doyle.
Yes,
in the healthiest of ways.
I know. There's a fan page of I think you're all on it. And the person who runs the fan page, she was just saying some stuff. And then she's like, yeah, she did say I won't hold my breath, but more or less, yeah, I'm not holding out too much hope, even though she wants it. I know. All right, friends. What happened?
Nothing. I was just agreeing with you.
All right. Have a good night.
See you next time.
Maybe Sunday.
You're not the Pope. Would you stop doing that?
That's back in the day when I was Miss Hamilton. That's my wave.
Or the Queen.
Queen. Yeah, tell my family that. Good night, everyone.
Good night.